Hello guys, back again. And this was something that caught me off guard because Hyper Crazy Climber, a Japanese PlayStation game from 1996, will launch for PlayStation 3 on April 15th. Now, the original Crazy Climber arcade game came out in 1980, and I know this game because at a campground we stayed in the 80s and 90s during the summer. In summer, my family would go to this campground. It wasn't extremely far from my town. About 20-minute drive outside of my town. So this campground was in the middle of nowhere, but it was only 20 minutes from my hometown. So it wasn't extremely far from home. And there's a swimming pool, and then they'd have a little room which had a pool table. But at this point, of course, arcade machines were starting to come in their own. So they had arcade machines and some pinball. Ironically, this is the same place the one and only time in my life, I'll never say this is a greatest achievement. It's just one of those things that you get on a roll at the game and it happened to happen. That was the place I actually got a kill screen on Donkey Kong, and I'll never be able to do it again. Just one of those things that just happened. Don't know how. At the time it happened, I thought the machine was broken. To be quite honest with you, and I got mad at the time. It wasn't years later to understand what I actually did. But Crazy Climber was one of the first arcade games they got in there. And I played it, and I fell in love with it. You had two joysticks to move around, and the controls weren't great. The controls weren't very responsive, so they were very clunky on the arcade game. But the fact is, you were climbing up a building as people were throwing pots and other crazy stuff were happening, and it was just silly but fun, and I loved it. I fell in love with it. I mean, the big speakers on top, and it wasn't there very long before it was gone. I don't know why. And I know there was a Crazy Climber 2 that was released in Japan. And now there was obviously a PlayStation game called Hyper Crazy Climber. And basically the point is you're ascending a tower in this game, avoiding obstacles and enemies along the way, controlling the character's left and right side, independently in order to reach the summit. So you're basically got the two joysticks of your controller were used separately, just kind of like the arcade sticks back in the day. Monkey Paw Games, who specializes in bringing retro import games digital download, have set the PS Vita cross-buy game price at $5.99. So basically, you can have this on the Vita or the PS3, or you can have it on both. It's cool they brought this out. I've never played Hyper Crazy Climber. Now I'm going to have to go check it out. It looks graphically updated. Don't know if it has the same charm as the original. The original was very basic, so it'd be kind of cool to try out. But if you're a retro gaming fan and you like Hyper Crazy Climber and you never got to play it, and you're a fan of climbing games, or you liked Crazy Climber or Crazy Climber 2, you may have played that on a ROM somewhere, or on MAME, you can possibly buy this. And it's cool. I'll have to check it out, see what it looks like. I mean, there's a picture in the article, but it just shows him climbing up like I want to call it a dirt building, but it's not, with a freaking metal spiked ball with a face on it coming down at him. So, anyway, it says it's stage 3 anyway. So what do you think about this game coming out? Do you think it's cool? Me, I think there needs to be more retro games that we never got to play coming off of the system. That's where I think these meet the biggest reason for digital download in each store that these consoles has, is bringing us the games that never came out over in the place we live at, that came out in other countries that we never got to try. And this is definitely one of them. I think that's cool. So, would you try Hyper Crazy Climber? Would you buy it on the PS3 or cross-buy it for the Vita to play it? Did you ever play the original? If you did, you might want to try this out. Anyway, guys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.